we will have people joining in us from maybe another 5-10 minutes onwards, and around 6:65 also we'll start it, and I'll introduce you. Then you can have the floor. And once you're through with the presentation, we will have the questions. And what we normally do is we ask all the participants to put the questions in the Q&A box, Smita, and then I will relay those questions to you as a form of curated questions. So therefore, you can respond to each one of them. Will that be okay?
Yeah. So is there any question list that you already have?
No, not yet. I think as the this one goes, we get to see the questions. They keep posting them in the Q&A box, Smita.
Okay, great. And how?
Marketing officer of Duroflex. And I'm sure each one of you must have your own version of what Duroflex means to us, right? In fact, many people ask this simple question about is it an Indian brand and things like that. It's a very well homegrown brand, having started in 1963, way in deep south in Alleppey by PC Thomas, and since then it has been growing thanks to people like Smita Murarka. And just to give you a background about Smita, she's a very, very illustrious career in marketing area, and she's got close to about 18 years of experience after having completed her MBA from IFA Business School, and before that she did her BCom from all famous Mount Carmel College. And she started her career with a company called Brandcom as an account executive, where she worked for about a year. Then she worked as a marketing manager, market services manager at Bulchi for 1 year. And she spent close to about 4 years in the next stint with Landmarks Group, and exiting the company as manager, buying and merchandising. After that, she spent again, I think one of her biggest stints has been in Mass Holdings, where she spent close to about 6 years and 4 months, and she exited the company as a marketing head. And she joined the current company, that is Duroflex, just about the time that the pandemic was hit. She joined in February 20, and the great thing is that at the peak of pandemic, she got promotion as a chief marketing officer in April 2021. And most interestingly, she is one of the most keynote speakers and the most invited speaker across different platforms for her oratory skills, as well as in-depth knowledge about marketing and brand building. And I think it goes without saying the kind of awards that she has received. Of course, there are so many awards that she has received, but let me have the pleasure of reading out a few of them for the consumption. One is a Women Super Achiever Award from World Women Leadership, and the Star Youth Achiever Award from SEMO Asia, which is one of the finest in the world, most coveted prize. And then we have Paul Reiter LinkedIn, the top 50 content marketer, and the Social Media Superwoman Award by our own Social Samosa Award. Again, all of them are marquee awards, and it goes without saying the kind of illustrious career that she had, and the kind of responsibility that she's carrying on her shoulders to build this outstanding brand. And that's why the topic for today's discussion, of what she's going to help us understand, is Duroflex and the art of building a brand for generations. Because everybody thinks this mattress is something, if you ask our elders, especially our grandfathers and things like it, it's a very localized, local kind of thing. But somebody has come up and then put a brand around it, and then it is growing tremendously, thanks to efforts of Smita and her producers as well. And we'll have the pleasure of listening to her the entire story of how this homegrown grown brand has been built over the generations, and how it is getting prepared for the generations in the years to come. Over to you, Smita.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you for the introduction. It's quite humbling to hear all those words. Having said that, for every marketer actually to really thrive, a great home ground, a great environment is really required. And definitely all my past stints, even at Duroflex, there has been a lot of freedom, a lot of thriving and respect for the field of marketing and the ideas that all of us brought in. So, what I intend to do today is really take you through the journey of quickly first how we were as a brand, what we've done, and then post pandemic, which has really been transformational for us, like many other brands. How did we really transform from a regional play to a national digital omni play, from an offline play to both offline and online play. So it's been really exciting. So I'll just take you through the few slides to set context, and then we can get into questions if there's any, right? So, Duroflex was started in 1963, in the backwaters of Kerala, Alleppey, really beautiful place. All of you should visit if you haven't. And it was started by Mr. PC Matthew. And it was started with a vision to really make sleeping a lot more comfortable many years back, right? More than 5 decades back. And to have that vision at that point, when India was just coming of age in buying products, forget branded products, and we'll get to the part where this category is still not very branded. So it was quite a visionary start. And why Kerala? Because Kerala is really the home for sourcing a lot of good raw materials like coir, like latex, which is a natural rubber product. So started with that, and then the first order was from the Indian government, also giving products for World War, in fact. And then as the decades went, we've expanded our presence in other southern states as well as our manufacturing capabilities. So if you see, every 1 or 2 years, we've really expanded our manufacturing capability, setting up factories in Hosur in Tamil Nadu in 1989, and then 2002 setting up factories, foam production, and then moving into Karimangalam, which is another factory in Tamil Nadu, until recently, where we launched a factory in Indore as well. We have also exported for a long time, over decades, to many countries. So net our manufacturing capability is something that we've always expanded and worked on, because that's really the backbone of this business and any good brand, right? That's what really makes the product. Once we had a very strong manufacturing, that's when we said, how do we really get into a more strong branded business? How do we really attract consumers from a more meaningful purpose, right? So our mattresses were available across southern states. We were one of the leading brands. And how do we really connect with our consumers? So a few years back, about 5 6 years back, we did a very extensive survey to really understand what consumers need from this product, which can be hidden need, right? It's not necessarily they already know it. And how can we offer something which is more meaningful? We did a full portfolio reorganization, and we were the first ones to start selling mattresses based on consumer needs. So typically in this category, mattress, if all of you have purchased, it's sold as very basic, boring, material based products, which is coir, foam, spring, many of which we might not understand. So we really reorganized our products to offer four kinds of ranges, which attract a certain characteristic of a target audience and a certain profile. So we have something called an Energize, which we've revamped and launched just a month back again, which is for the younger consumer who's got a very busy lifestyle, has a very hectic schedule, and is somewhere, just in the early 30s. So this product range is more plush, it is softer, and it's got anti-stress technology, and it's backed by a lot of research. Move on to Durapedic, which is a hero range. Many of y'all would have heard about this range because this is the most marketed range. So this has got a 5 zone layer, which is doctor recommended by National Health Academy, and it is a product that's been loved by most of our consumers, which is who are a little more older, who are probably in their mid 30s onwards, and have started to feel that, yeah, they need to take care of their back, or already have a stiff back and related issues. So it's something that works with a lot of Indians, because obviously our if you commute, the kind of activities we do tend to experience a lot of back trouble, and Durapedic, which is our ortho range, is something that caters to a wide range of Indians. And then we have a range which is very unique called Natural Living, which is for the conscious consumer today. Even, personally, I've become conscious about a lot of categories, and if there's options available, I'd rather go for organic food, more vegan produce, and more eco-friendly products. So it is for consumers like that, which is 100% organic latex, And these mattresses are made from our latex factory in Kerala, which is also an export factory. And it is something that's really natural and unique. And it has huge stickiness among the crowd, which really want this sort of a product. Of course, our value range, which is the bridge between value and very specialized offering, which is essential category, which is affordable comfort, right? So what we're trying to say is, before you really start going all out and marketing your products, or your brand, it's very important that you look at your products. Is it something which is a me too? Is it something which is catering to a consumer? And it's not always necessary that consumer already knows what they want from you and the brand, right? If they already knew that, then you would be a number one brand. And this category, you'll be surprised, is over 60% unbranded still, even after pandemic, even after us growing 2x over last 2 years. It's still a very unbranded category, which means there's so much more room to really educate the consumer, right? So it really starts with product. And because we've done this exercise, we had a very, very strong base. And we were ready when pandemic hit, and when consumers were looking at sleep very seriously, right? So product is the core for marketing today. You cannot just do great advertising and great communication. Consumers would come and probably just buy you. Definitely there is a whole journey that consumers are doing today over digital, where they are discovering your product, they're getting to know whether it's digital, TV. So they're getting to be aware, and then they're doing a lot of research about your product, which was probably not there earlier, where the means of researching consistent standardized information on product was not given by brand. It was in all mediator hands, right? So today consumers are very intelligent. They're all working population. They have information at their fingertips. So they would research about your products, and your communication will fall flat if your product offering is not connecting and it's not really speaking in the right manner. And of course, then also performing for what it's offered. So for us, product is really core of what we do in marketing. In It's not a team's effort, it's the whole company's efforts, where we really make sure that our products are the best. So post that, once we had our core mattress range ready, we also looked at how Duroflex is transforming not only as a mattress brand, what it started out with so many decades back, but really to become a sleep solution brand. And it means that we really wanted to take care of somebody's sleep environment, somebody's sleep needs when it comes to the bedroom, when they're hitting on the cot, what is the kind of products that they would need. So a lot of immediate insights, immediate connect with consumers are made in our company. And even in the past, even in periods like COVID, where probably manufacturing was very difficult for a lot of brands to do, let alone launch new products, we were able to really launch a lot of our categories. We went beyond mattresses mainly post COVID, which has been a great effort from all the teams and a great win. We launched a bed in a box concept. So a lot of the business shifted online. Today, more than 25% of our business happens in D2C channels, which is a combination of online and our own experience stores. And for online, it was very difficult to keep selling flat pack, the traditional mattresses, because freight and transportation, and even for the younger generation, it's something very difficult. So we launched our live-in range, which is a bed in a box, which is for the younger generation and the more online savvy generation, while this is an omni product and it's available across. And this had immediate stickiness. It really helped us scale online, become a leading brand within a year online. So we really recognized the gap in our mattress of offering, and fulfilled it, and truly became omni. So that's another thing. I mean, this category essentially pre-pandemic was offline was separate kind of products, online was separate kind of products. There was no single brand which was doing both. Pricing was very different. So we were the first ones, and probably still are to a large extent, who have done omni range, which is available both online offline, where the price is similar. And we understood that, and we standardized a lot of things so that we could have national adoption, where you buy anything from anywhere in the country, it's the same product at the same price, and you can buy it from any channel. So that also really helped our expansion. And then some very interesting products. We launched a mattress protector, which goes over a mattress and it's washable, it's moisture proof, water wicking. You can spill anything on it and nothing will go through your mattress. And plus, we had a technology, HEIQ technology, which is a Swiss technology, which is antiviral. And the timing was quite apt because it was bang in the middle of the first wave pandemic, where this was really what we promoted as mask for your bed. You know how you were getting used to wearing mask for your face. This was the mask for the bed, and it connected with consumers instantly. So it's not product which is something else, and marketing is something else. As I'm saying, it's something together, and it really needs to sink in. Once we launched that, then we were researching on what else can the consumers want from us. And again, coming back to the sleep space, we launched antibacterial bed sheets, over 200 designs, because that's the most visible part of your bedroom, right? So it's not something that we wanted to be left behind. So we got into design, which is very different from the other product categories, and we launched a whole range of designs. So you can only imagine the kind of investment of time, effort, research within 2 years that we managed to scale. Today, we've also extended ourselves to comfort categories. So we have sofas and recliners. We are not into mainstream furniture as a brand, but we do want to give sofas and recliners and products because they use our foam, which is the core of such products, and that also causes or spoils your back, and it causes long-standing comfort. So if that's a bad product and you come onto the bed at night, you'll probably still not be very comfortable. So we didn't want to leave it to chance, and that's something we expand into. And therefore, today we call ourselves a sleep solution company, where we are going beyond mattress. We are also researching a lot of technology integrations and how do we really make this more tech enabled? How do we make sure that we offer consumers something for the future? So we are not looking at this category as a sleeping category, which literally it still is post pandemic. While it's changed a lot, but it still is, and we don't want to treat it like traditional brands would. We do want to be the futuristic brand for this category. um, so post that, I mean, throughout this period, over the last 5-6 years, we started our marketing journey, where we started meaningful partnerships which really could take our product strategy and our the whole essence of what we do forward. And one of those first most strongest partnerships was with RCB and CSK, whereas I told you about the range Energize, where there's a direct connect, right? So energizing, CSK to Victory, official sleep energizing partner. Those were the communication which really connected with the TG at a very large scale and helped us establish this range. In the last 2 years, we've had some very interesting collaborations and TV associations with Big Boss, a huge TV sort of plan, and probably the only brand which has been very active on TV as well. So combination of digital TV, not leaving behind a certain medium, and as I'm saying, right, either there is only traditional brands or there's only online brands. We are probably the only brand that cuts across both and is a real omni brand. Even in our marketing communications, we do an always on digital, and we have a lot of strong TV partnerships, a lot of ATL activities as well, which really helps us cut across age groups, profiles, consumers, and therefore really make us become a national brand. Having said that, we were a regional brand for a very long time. Only post pandemic from last year, we've really penetrated into national play. And today, we are a leading national brand available across the country and online and offline. So it's been a very exciting journey to really see this transition. And of course, our latest partnership with Alia Bhatt as a brand ambassador. So as you can see, right, visually, this category has had very male-centric, very mature kind of conversations, very either sports associations or something which is more family, older. And that is why we wanted to really disrupt it and choose Alia Bhatt, who's a very, very millennial voice, cuts across age groups, but a very young voice. Uh, unafraid to really speak her mind, but at the same time not bashful, or not somebody who's just throwing around attitude. She's quite good at what she does, and that's all that we wanted to come across as values for the brand. And she's worked really well for us, and again helped us expand a lot. So if you look at the stacking up through these slides, what I'm trying to say is our marketing strategy is not only based on a large burst of communication. It is based on foundations. It is based on stacking up of different elements. Starts with a core of product, and then you see channel strategy, you see pricing strategy. So you have to sit across with the teams, really brainstorm, do a cross functional, something that I really believe in, that marketing starts with consumer centricity inwards into the organization. So what we've been able to do is really bring consumer centricity in all functions. Today, when a supply chain person knows how, if something goes wrong, if the supply is not reaching on time, then how will the consumer react? A consumer experience representative knows if they get a call when the consumer is unhappy, how will they react? And so they're very preemptive of consumer experience across the organization. And of course, all our communication is in line with that. We don't try to make very tall claims or something that is not real. Our attitude is really of somebody who's a challenger brand who keeps trying and improving, right? So that's what we portray even within even employees. And marketing and branding is not something that's restricted to just what is visible outside, right? In today's format where there's LinkedIn, every employee is visible, what they're doing, what they're writing, what they're saying. It's very important that across you're carrying the same values. And beyond communication, that's what even I try to do, and my team tries to do internally as well. Right. So I would like to take you through some of the recent work in video that we've done. And I'll just set some context to it. And probably at the end of it, we can discuss for questions and any other sort of conversations, right? So the first video that I want to show you is something that got us on the top 10 YouTube leaderboard advertising. It's Stay Home, Stay Safe. And this video really shows that our timing of releasing something that was connecting with the audience was pretty bang on. So when pandemic set in, and when the Prime Minister of India announced the first lockdown, we actually went on TV, and we had our small advertising burst, which was just education messages on news channels, which spoke about sleep for immunity. So everybody wanted to know how can they build immunity, and nobody had a clue, right? And sleep was like the biggest pillar that builds immunity. So this knowledge we really wanted to share. We genuinely wanted to pass it on to our consumers without any sale or offer related or any sort of communication which helps the business really. So we went on with that. Post that, when everybody's talking about don't leave home and stay home, really encouraging kids, families, motivating them. How do we ensure that how home is a beautiful place too? We are not used to it, but that's where really your heart is, and how you can enjoy being at home. So bang in the middle of that, we released this video, and organically it got us about over 8 million views at that point. And it came on to YouTube's leaderboard, and it was really loved because it connected the chords. So apart from what you're doing as a business, as something that you're trying to sell, it's also important that you understand what the situation is, what the consumer is feeling at that point, and connect with them. Today social media helps us break up all our advertising into micro moments, into relatable moments, into connecting with the audience right at that point. And as a brand, we should make sure that we're able to do that, however with meaningful content, because these days we're getting a lot of moment marketing, which is just very I mean, a brand can do anything and everything. So those are choices we should make as marketers, and connect where we can really make a conversation. So for us, we try to connect with conversations around bedroom, sleep, anything which is about relaxing, health, fitness. Those kind of conversations is what we try to make. I'll just play this video.
Your bed. It has been a lot of things. A haven for a hard day's night. Your bed. It has been a lot of things. A haven for a hard day's night. The reason why weekends start right. A snug corner for good habits. A playground for little wabbits. It has stayed up with you on binge watching nights. It has had your back through spreadsheets and slides. Your bed has done a lot for you. Now it can keep you safe too. Stay in. Stay safe. Stay.
Yeah. So we saw that video, right? It was very much about just, it was very emotional. It was about just staying at home, very simple messaging. We're not trying to sell Duroflex also as a brand, and not really talking about this range or that range. And this had a huge connect, and actually, it does pay off if you're able to do meaningful content like that and connect with the audience at the right time, right? I'll just play the other ad.
Through spreadsheets.
Just one second. Yeah. The other one is actually, again, a very, very loved piece of content. So we have World Sleep Day in the month of March as a category, and a lot of brands try to connect with the audience during that time, right? So we wanted to take our sleep conversations forward. We had already established ourselves as somebody on our social media, on our website, who trying to pass a lot of knowledge to consumers about sleep. Products is one part of it. A lot of serious conversations, which was about sleep science, how do you sleep better, things like that. And then we really thought that what is it that will help consumers sleep beyond products, and the best thing we know, generations, all of us would have experienced, is something which is a great sleep aid, which is lullabies and music, right? So we saw that our consumers who were young parents actually were working from home. We had the insight that they were really troubled because their kids were not able to sleep. They were not able to sleep, and that's when we released our much loved property called Sounds of Sleep, and we've done season 2 also this March. This went viral, if I can use the word, because it's the most awarded property in the category. It's basically compositions, recreations of the first seasons was recreations of lullabies across the country. We had 6 languages. It was hosted by Kalki. We partnered with Sony Music, and we put it out for everybody to love and share. And actually, parents called us, they left testimonials on our site, on our pages, saying that thank you so much for relieving this. Not only it's helping us connect with our kids, but also reminding what their mothers, what their grandmothers, what caretakers sang for them. So it had a very emotional chord. And I'll just play the trailer, which has the combination of the languages to give you an idea.
Stay home.
Welcome to Duroflex Sounds of Sleep, a series that explores how music aids sleep. Series 1 celebrates regional lullabies collected from across India. I will bring you one soothing lullaby each week. India's best stories, specially curated to connect us all back to our roots.
Yeah. So, yeah. So it's something that I'm sure I can see a smile on your face, doctor, and I'm sure a lot of people can connect. So
Absolutely.
not only video, which is hosted on YouTube, but and on Sony Music, which is the largest medium today for music and video. We also had playlists on Spotify, on music platforms. We had playlists which were sharing with our consumers, and they were literally listening to it and falling asleep. It was so melodious, sung by the best singers in the country. So this is something that really stuck our chord, and we are able to balance a lot of conversations in the similar line by thinking and being obsessed about sleep and helping India sleep better. So that's really the mission that we have for our business. And of course, our business is to sell great products, but also to make sure that we can do everything in our ability as marketers, as leaders, to really educate consumers. So we also, in fact, conduct sessions at corporates where we're just, sharing knowledge on how can somebody sleep better and how sleep impacts health, professional life, personal life. So that's something that we do. I'll just play another ad. It's not really an ad, it's an influencer speak. Where, if you remember, Scam, which was a big hit show a little over a year back, and Pratik Gandhi, who really became a household name overnight. So we partnered with him. This whole Pratik Gandhi's image, though he was in Scam, his image was about how do you improve things. He was very down to earth, very real, not somebody who's just marketing things, because he was not in the marketing world really. So we partnered with him to talk about our Duropedic range, and where he explains about the product. So this was really an influencer led speak, where he became an overnight sensation even for our brand. Where if you hear the conversation, it's very much in his style, and because he was so relevant at that point, people picked up the way he was talking. So timing again, and using content, but also to make sense for what you are trying to sell or market. It's very important to connect the dots and use it in the right way. So I'll just play that as ad as well.
Your bed. It has been.
हो गया? थैंक यू। देखो, मैं भाषण नहीं दूंगा, सिर्फ फायदे की बात करूंगा। ये देख रहे हैं आप, ड्यूरोफ्लेक्स की ड्यूरोपेडिक मैट्रेस, मेरे बैग का परफेक्ट सपोर्ट। मजे की बात तो ये है कि मार्केट में इसे कोई रेकमेंड ही नहीं करता। वो दुकान वाला बोल रहा था, अरे सर ब्रांडेड क्यों लेना है, अंदर सब सेम ही होता है। मैं बना के देता हूँ ना आपको, सस्ता पड़ेगा। भाई मेरे बैग का सवाल है, यही सोच तो बदलनी है। और मेरे बैग को चाहिए साइंटिफिकली इंजीनियर्ड मैट्रेस। इंजीनियर हूं ना, पहचान गए? इसके 5 जोन ऑर्थोपेडिक लेयर मेरे बॉडी के प्रेशर पॉइंट्स को सही हिसाब से एडजस्ट करता है, और ये सीधा फैक्ट्री से सैनिटाइज होकर आता है। सो एक्स्ट्रा स्लीप विद एक्स्ट्रा सेफ्टी। एंड द बेस्ट पार्ट इज इट इज रिकमेंडेड बाय नेशनल हेल्थ अकेडमी। 2021 की टॉप टिप देता हूँ, जैसे इस साल बदला है ना, अपनी सोच भी बदल डालो।
Hi.
Yeah, so if you saw the last part of the ad, it says top tip, right, which was from Scam, and that was the connect where he bought a smile on your face. So the last ad, as you saw the sneak peek, is the Alia Bhatt, the first ad of last year, which was something very close to our heart, because it's the first time not only the brand but the entire category would have used a national Bollywood actress, top actress, at such a large scale. And the conversation, once you see the ad, is something which is very sticky. So our entire narrative in this ad was about how do you buy a better mattress. So how do you don't go in for something that's unbranded. And we are not trying to say only Duroflex, but of course there is a product plugin, but it is about upgrading the consumer and even for the category. So it was working for the category as well as the brand. And that's very important if you're a leading brand. If you want to be something that's a thought leader as a brand, then it's very important that you don't narrow your conversations. You don't try to only oversell what you have, but really work for the category. Because if category really improves and people start going in for brand, then it's an even playing field, right? So our whole intent with the celebrity last year was to even improve the branded purchases in the category, not only our brand. I'll just play that.
Hi. What's the mattress?
I couldn't sleep properly.
Matter पता है. Mattress पूछ रही हूँ. Genius. बिना सोचे मैट्रेस ले लिया.
नहीं, मैट्रेस तो मैट्रेस होता है ना.
Just get a Duroflex mattress. 50 years of trust. 5 zone full body support. Great sleep. And also, it's a doctor recommended orthopedic mattress range. Nothing like Duroflex.
Yeah, so I thought it's important to show you the actual work that we've done while I talk about these things, rather than just put it out there as verbal or a visual speak. And I hope people who've logged in are understanding our thought process through these advertising, how the way we've communicated it is very different. The conversation might be different, but it has a common thread. It is around sleep, having great sleep, really genuinely caring about our consumers, and also communicating what our products are good for. So we have tried to maintain that common thread, even the look and feel, trying to establish a world class brand. And with that, we realized that while we've done products, we've done great communication, we've launched our website, we've started selling online, but this product is something that still needs a touch and feel for a large amount of audience. More than 80% of this category probably sold offline, and for our brand as well, close to that. So how do we really improve the experience? Because most of the consumers are forced to buy at stores which are small, it's not really well laid out. And definitely post COVID, nobody wanted to really shop at environments and spend time, where they're not feeling comfortable. So if you can see this imagery, we've launched this again through the pandemic, through 2020. We started the journey of launching our experience stores. And today we're already over 50 stores. We're targeting 100 stores by the end of this year, 1.5 years. And you can see how clean it's laid out. While it is a very clean brand appeal, it's also giving a homely appeal. It's also giving something that's somebody would want to sit on the mattress, spend time, understand the product. So also something that explains all our ranges beautifully, connects the dots. There are areas where some consumer can come in, spend time. There is digital screen. So it's a combination of the store looking like an expert brand store, where it looks something which is highly technical, but at the same time warm, homely, and somebody would want to spend time here. So this has become a big piece of our brand building. While it's a place where we sell, it is a very big integral part of our marketing strategy and building the brand, where we are engaging the consumer in our own environment, and we are able to really connect with them the way we want to, right? So I mean, what I'm trying to say is that there is all these things that a marketer needs to do: connect the dots with product, channel, your entire communications, and make sure that you have an always-on strategy, which is your social PR, stores, your online, but also connect back to resolve your queries, reviews, understand what consumers looking for, what they're happy about, what they're unhappy about. And don't pretend to be the perfect brand, because today a consumer can leave reviews on Amazon, Flipkart, on online, Google, everywhere. And if you're not reading those reviews and you're just doing marketing as a push marketing, it's not something that will really help you build a long lasting brand. So for us, it's very important to walk the whole consumer journey, understand at every touch point how the consumer is going to feel, how can we connect with them, and then link it back with finally what their post purchase experience has been. And yeah, that's really what we are trying to do. And building a long lasting brand for maybe many decades and more than 100 years to come at Duroflex, and really hoping India sleeps better. All of us sleep really, something that we go and do for 8 hours, and we are very happy about it at the end of it.
Thank you so much, Smita. I think it's quite a journey in just about 30 minutes or so, but quite impactful, and I would say very deep diving and very satisfying to the extent that we can feel. And most importantly, the kind of science that has gone into it. Now, with your permission, I would like to take some questions from the participants, Smita. Is it
Sure.
okay? Yeah, good. We have quite a few questions both in the chat box as well as Q&A. But let me just start with the first one. This is from Mr. Pratik Bharti. And his question is, please let us know about your expansion strategy in the market with strong competition. Thank you, Pratik.
Yes. So, Pratik, as I was talking through the presentation, we have become a national brand, and we are present all across India. We are present on our website, on the marketplaces, which are the leading marketplaces: Flipkart, Pepperfry, Amazon, and many other marketplaces. And we are expanding through our exclusive store networks as well as our exclusive dealer partner networks. So definitely expansion strategy is a big part of our brand building, because as I said, for a long time till pandemic we were essentially a regional brand, and today we are an omni national brand. So most of what we'll be doing in the next few years will be really focusing on expansion.
Thank you, Smita. This is a question from Mr. Ashish Maitra, and it's quite interesting one. His question is, respected ma'am, thank you, terrific branding. And his question, first question is, in India, mattresses are very generic products. Regarding the branding and marketing, how do you educate the levels of product to customers, and how do you identify the niche, or you made a differentiation in your product and offer to customer? That's first question, Smita. The second one is, from the marketing point of view, where do you do research a lot as far as uh, segmentation and targeting and positioning is concerned? Thank you, Ashish. Quite a
Okay.
loaded one.
Quite good. And I think that's probably a 1 hour session as well, a separate one, because that's pretty much encapsulates everything that we've done or are going to do. But let me try and address that. The first one, however, is a very, very important question. And it's a good question because this category has been unbranded. Marketing is something that's not been there across, right? So it's something that is just been there for communication as push strategy. But for us it was very important to translate why this consumer would want the product, not only in the Indian context, but we have a lot of knowledge internally, and the team is very, very passionate about sleep. So you really as marketer need to make the category unboring, really. And a lot of my past stints also are in those categories. So I was with the lingerie brand before Duroflex, which was a lot of similar products, similar problems, not similar products but similar problems. So what is important is to understand the essence of the category as a team, be passionate about it, understand from consumers point of view why they should buy it, not in its current state, and not how brands are offering it, but what really it means. So a lot of research should go into it, and then you should really educate the consumer. So a lot of what we do at Duroflex as marketing is education, just simply about sleep, about how do you use the right lights, the right temperature, the right beyond products, just the environment. What are the things? Don't use a mobile near you because blue light stops sleep. So we start a lot with those conversations. And then on products, you definitely need to make great products. So a lot of your team time, money as an organization, investments should go into manufacturing setup, into, if you're a fully backward integrated company, but even if you're outsourcing, you should know really, you should have an innovation lab which researches, connects with international organizations, and finally makes really innovative products, because a me too product is especially today, is very, very difficult to market. So research, innovation in your products, connecting with consumers is essential. The other question, which is a very loaded question as well, which is about segmentation, targeting, positioning. Those are really the backbones of marketing. I think as marketers, let's go beyond these, essential pillars, but also beyond jargons that you may hear a lot these days. Really understand principles of basic fundamental marketing, understanding your consumers, and then doing a lot of research. So today, unlike when I started my career or even till recently, where we really had to tie up with agencies all the time, we had to do on ground field work, we had to recruit consumers, go to their store doors. While that is happening still, we have a lot of data on our fingertips, right? On Google, on digital mediums, even as consumers ourselves. So it's really about stitching that data points in real time and making sense out of it. And a lot of digital marketing throws up data. So connecting insights with actual emotional, observations, with consumers' feedback that you get, even at a store, even what the staff tells you. So it's really about connecting the dots with with data, qualitative, quantitative, but also your creative bend of mind, your interpretation as a team, as an organization, which is more future forward. So that's how we really look at things. We don't look at the category in its current state. We do have a vision to transform the category overall, and that's where we are headed as a team.
I think one of the questions that we have, Smita, is that of all the people, with all due respects, by the way, why Alia Bhatt?
Yeah. So I try to set context to that while I was showing it. See, for any modern brand, it's important to be gender neutral. So one point was that this category was dominated with very male sort of choices, even for us in the past, or very mature choices, or choices which are very typical. So female first for us was important to break that myth and to break that state of the category communication. Secondly, her she's a young youth icon. So for us, it was important to connect with a younger consumer, because
Mm,
we've been around for so many years. So definitely we didn't want to look like a very mature old brand. So she's quite young, and definitely the body of work she's done. She's not somebody who's caught in controversies. So she has a very good image, very positive image, and finally the quality of work she's done, what she stands for. More importantly, she herself is very passionate about sleep. So even before she partnered with the brand, she used to talk about sleep a lot on her Instagram handle. And that's what really attracted us as well. So a lot of factors went in while making that choice, and she's worked out perfectly for us.
absolutely brilliant. It is. I'm sure that's going to stay with the consumers for a long time. Now, we have two questions from Mr. Pavan Kumar. First question is, how was the support from, very interesting question, Smita. How was the support from Indian government through the period from start of the organization till now? That's the first question from Mr. Pavan. And second question that he has for you is, how do you see the pros and cons in setting up a business in India and other countries? Of course, he has got two more, by the way. I'm sorry. How is the split of funds on research, production, and marketing? And the last question is, what do you think the consideration should be on when starting an organization, and how to evaluate a profit as a percentage? Thank you, Paravan. Again, four questions.
So I think these questions are really about, I think, everything around business, and maybe he should come over to our office and interact with us, because it's everything that we do. If I have to just put it in a nutshell, I think the government has been very supportive, not only of a particular brand of a particular category, but across, and a lot of brands, traditional brands, national brands, manufacturing brands. A lot of them have grown through this pandemic. So obviously, there were things that were working out right in the country. Having said that, more than anybody else externally, as a business, you have to be prepared for adversities, right? Like so our manufacturing was open, even with all practicing all rules and regulations, all hygiene standards. Our manufacturing facilities were open because we were doing CSR. We were supplying free mattresses to a lot of hospitals, organizations. So that's something that we focused on when we couldn't sell. We really focused on what we can do for the country, and when it really means the most. So when everybody was setting up shelters for extra patients, they wanted mattresses, right? Because beds, that's a basic necessity. And we were able to reach out to a lot of organizations proactively, a lot of NGOs, a lot of government bodies, hospitals, even groups, societies around in our apartments and in the areas we lived in, and we were making mattresses for isolation. So things like that is really what goes beyond the business side of marketing. It's also about really standing up and doing things which are right. The rest of the questions are more about profitability, business practices, which I think it really requires one's understanding of what business they want to do, how they want to do it. And today, there are a lot of experts who can really guide. So I will really request you, if you can, reach out to experts in the field that you want to, if you want to start business, and be well prepared before you jump in, because the cost of today losing your idea, or losing your mind and time and resources is much more. So make sure whatever you do or are part of is well thought through. That's all I can say at this stage. The absolutes will need a lot more discussion.
Thank you, Smita. This is a question from Nikhil, but it's a little personal one. His question is, "Hi, Smita. I have found the career trajectory quite interesting from accounts executive to CMO. How come you have managed family and work together and growing on the corporate ladder so quickly? And what challenges did you face? How have you made yourself relevant? And who was your mentor or guru? How did you harness the digital technology for selling for the sales other than advertising?" Thank you, Nikhil. Again, quite a lot, one. The
Yeah,
entire spectrum of questions.
thank you for the kind words and thank you for following me. Honestly, you don't think at least I didn't then when I was working that I would come on to ET cases and talk. It was not even there in my time, right, when I started my career. So being visible, building a name was not something that you do while you're working. My intent while I was working was really what is it that I need to learn? What is it that I need to be part of as brands, as categories, as things that I like doing? So I started my career with a brand strategy firm under the leadership of Mr. Sridhar, who was a veteran in advertising. But I realized that I really needed to get into real businesses and dirty my hands in other functions to become a better marketer. So one advice which I practiced through my career is, and now it is definitely something that's available as career options also. But earlier, if you started from a particular field, you did only that, right? So for me, it was like pushing my way through and really being part of sales, product, a lot of functions, just because I wanted to do it so badly, and making sure I was available right in the face when the opportunity happened, right? So today I'm able to really do conversations and strategies and impact in a lot of areas, which is much more beyond marketing, absolute marketing, because I've done those stints in the past. In terms of mentorship, I have a lot of mentors, and mentors not don't come from people you're directly working with only. It's also people you come across, even over a few hours of discussion or few times you've interacted with them, or your peers, or maybe younger. So today, in fact, I'm looking forward to have mentors of people who are much younger, also in the future,
You
because they can teach you technology, they can teach you so many things. So mentorship should come from people you really value, and what you want to learn from them should be very clear in your mind. And it's very important to have mentors, because otherwise you're restricted to your own interpretation and your limited knowledge and understanding, and it takes so much longer. So to the point that short span, I'm not sure if it's very short, but it's definitely been fulfilling. I have a long way to go. So in that span, yeah, learning from mentors was probably the fastest way in which I could learn over their experiences, and definitely that's one advice.
I think, Nikhil, if I can add with permission of Smita, I think counterintuitively, I think what she has done is she has not slept on her laurels. While she allows everybody to sleep on her mattress, I think what she has not done is she has not slept on the laurels. Thank you so much, Smita. Quite interesting one. Now
Yeah,
we have a question. Yeah,
I'll
go
just,
ahead. Sorry.
I'll just add one thing. Thank you for adding that, because actually that's exactly what I have in mind when I move categories also. So Duroflex for me was a very interesting move. I've spent a large amount of my time in lifestyle, fashion brands,
Yeah,
lingerie before, so very, very different. But Duroflex for me was exactly that I didn't want to be within a certain, only a certain sort of comfort zone. So this was a very different category, but the vision was so powerful. And it was a huge plunge for me after working for so many years, to go into a category which is not really a marketer's paradise earlier.
absolutely.
Uh, but really to, feel connected to it with a strong vision, get immersed into it, and really believe in it. So yeah, I mean, don't rest on your past laurels for sure. Keep
Absolutely.
working, yeah.
Now, we have two questions from Mr. Mahadev Patil. And his first question: what should a new company do to enter the market as a new company in existing market? And his second question is: what strategy should a newcomer adopt to build the market and brand? Thank you so much, Mahadev.
That's a good question because India is a prime economy right now for the world. Within India, a lot of players are coming in the limelight. So a lot of small players are becoming brands because thanks to digital media, access of marketing is become quite available. So it's important that if you're getting into a category, again, you do your full thorough research. Firstly, why you want to get into it, right? Because not every category, almost every category in India today, with the large population that we have, the mixed income group that we have, there is opportunity for a lot of categories to grow, and every category to grow, right? So you have to be very clear why you're jumping into a category. What is your expertise as a business or a person or as an organization, as a team? What is your expertise or your intent for that category, or what is the expertise you're able to build? That's
Absolutely.
very important, right? It can't be only money. It can't be only something that you're not interested, but you have just the money. Of course, you can become investor today. There's VC investors, angel investors, so that's great. But you have to understand, if you're fully into it, you have to really understand what's your passion point and why you're into it. Build a great team. Build a why of the product or service that you're offering, and why should somebody really buy the differentiator, and then market it with that soul. So building the soul of your business before you can really add the bells and whistles is very important.
Thank you, Smith. This is a question from Dr. Tripti Dothe, and her question is: hi, Smita. It's a tough category to brand and market. All the strategies are extremely well edged out and distinctive. They definitely have given Duroflex a superb recall, edge, and visibility. The lullaby concept was especially fabulous. So it's more of I think, a compliment than a question.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so glad you all were able to relate to it and understand. And if there's something that even more I need to explain, please let me know. But thank you so much for your feedback.
And this is the question from Mr. Soumendra Dutt, Smita, and his question is: what's the status of Duroflex with reference to international competition?
See, again, this category needs more competition. If 60% is unbranded, people are sleeping on products which are not even made, manufactured with standardized processes, with researchers, then really we are not scratched the surface. And any category which has only one brand is not going to really convert all the consumers. So we are more than happy if great competition comes in, if international brands with great technology, great product, great proposition come in, because then that elevates the whole category. So we are more than happy. We want more and more brands to come in, market themselves a lot more, be available a lot more, and finally this category should become fully branded. Is really what we want.
One related question, Smita, about this one is that largely, like IKEA has done it for many countries, right? Countries do it because I think like this category, furniture also was supposed to be very culture specific and also local, embedded one. I think from that point of view, I think like we're saying in the beginning, all of our parents, grandparents, for them, it is more about go to the neighborhood stores, just buy something from the pick it up, right? So, like, that's what is all about the mattress part of it. But I think somebody like you have come on this since the time you came from 1963. I think you started branding it, right, with all that, with the science around it. So was there any occasion or do you plan or was there any thought around it where you actually co-opt the local manufacturers and see what best practices that you can imbibe so that these guys have the pulse of the market there and they know exactly what are the fast moving mattresses and things like that.
No, definitely you can't, and you shouldn't, as a country, ignore the local manufacturer. Finally, they have a livelihood too. It is
Mhm.
economic, reasons why somebody would do that or should do that. Unfortunately, till today, that is happening not because somebody can't afford to buy a branded product. They spend actually sometimes they go to these local manufacturers and spend a lot more. They don't know. So our products are not really necessarily more expensive than what that guy is charging, but the
Mhm.
word, right? So, and that's what a brand is about. So for us, it's not about shutting down that guy's shop, but it is about also converting them into branded stores, stocking. So a lot of our MBO expansion, a lot of the dealer penetration we've done is probably converting these people also to stock our mattress and expose that, right? And a lot of them have stopped selling unbranded because they're earning. Equally with lesser stress, they're getting branded product. So for them also, it's a win-win. Secondly, consumers' awareness is what really matters. As you said, because culturally we have been used to it. No matter our income in the past or our awareness, we would behave in a certain way, right? So for us, cultural nuances and not only matters, but a lot of categories. We try to still stick to our own, vernacular way of speaking or our cultural nuances in what we buy, which is India. It's great, but and today we make a lot of products also, which is keeping different sensibilities, age groups, cultural nuances in mind. As a group, we have a brand called Perfect Rest, which is for really the value conscious consumers, which is very affordable. It's 6 to 8,000 rupees. So for us, we are trying to serve the consumer in the best way that we can as a brand, and we want them to adopt a brand from a good portfolio. Of course, we would like ours, but other than that, even if it's a good brand, then we would really like that, because simply it's about 8 hours of your time in sleeping, which really impacts the rest of your life in health and fitness. So for us, it's that mission. So yeah, I mean, there will still be people who will continue buying that, but definitely not the kind of target audience that we have in mind.
I think with your permission, I think we have already overshot the time by 6 minutes exactly. With your permission, can I take two more questions, Smita?
No problem.
This is a question from Bhumika saying her question is, hello, ma'am. Thank you for the insightful session. My question is, with the changing market scenario, was using celebrity endorsement or collaboration instead more of the new channels like social media marketing or influencer marketing or affiliate marketing was more beneficial? Thank you, Bhumika.
Yeah, good question. Very good question. If you see the timing of when we broke with this, the pandemic, the real scary part of the second wave of the pandemic was over. And we were getting into a much better zone. And that's when we decided to have the celebrity onboarded, because during the pandemic, it's not the best time to talk about, things like that. So we used the celebrity last year when the pandemic was almost over, and it really helped us expand. It helped us reach our dealers. It helped us penetrate the country. Having said that, as you've seen the creatives, we've used a lot of communication which are purely for social media. So 2 3 of our first previous ads that I showed you is mainly for social media and for digital consumption. And that's really the place where you can connect with consumers on a daily, hourly basis, and you can make meaningful conversations. Of course, don't try to bombard them when I say daily, hourly, but you should have something meaningful to say, and that's the best connect you have for your consumers. Most of our campaigns, all of our campaigns are 360-degree thought through. So it's not thought through from just a media perspective, but from more content. And what do we want to say? And then where do we want to say? So we have a 360-degree digital plus offline media communication, and not only a digital offline, but also one-on-one connects with consumers, talking to consumers. That's also what we try to do. So it cuts across media really.
Thank you. I think last question for today evening, Smita, with your permission, is this is from Pooja Kamdar. And her question is, how did you guys come to the innovative thought of experience stores? It's a brilliant idea, actually. What's the research behind at national or international level? Thank you, Pooja.
Yeah, Pooja. So all of us are consumers too, right? And we should analyze who our consumer is. Going back to consumer centricity, who's our consumer? If somebody like you or me or the doctor, these are the kind of consumers we have. We are buying a lot of the brands. So today, if our consumer is walking into an Apple store and then comes in, finds our mattress being sold in a store which is not very clean, it's not hygienic, it's not the same experience, right? So if we are calling ourselves a real world class brand, a brand that understands what consumers want, it's important to give that option in the offline store as well. And that was really the thought. It was not that somebody came and told us, oh, you open this mattress store, but it was about what how the consumer's experiences in other categories, how far he or she has reached in that experience, and how do we match that to our category as well. And the design was done keeping in mind a lot of research went into it, thought process went into it. How do we really lay out the store and keep the colors, the feeling, the entire experience very close to the kind of world we want to create, the world of sleep. So yeah, so through the process we had a lot of iterations on the design, and once we launched the first store, we understood the sentiments, how the consumers are feeling about the store, and that's when we went into expansion mode.
Thank you so much, Smita. I think it's an amazing session, although it's a brief session. But like you rightly said, I think everybody should visit her stores to understand what kind of innovations are taking place. But I think what everybody understood is the kind of science that you and your team have been bringing into this kind of, which is otherwise a simple category, which is a mattress at the end of the day. But then the kind of science that you built in, the technology that you have built in fact, to say that you're importing a lot of technology, especially from Switzerland and other parts of the world, that is something which is outstanding, right? I think which otherwise people not normally is there in their normal realm of thinking. But thank you so much, and keep contributing to this marketing field, especially the world of branding. And absolute pleasure and honor to host you for this brief session, Smita. Absolutely great honor.